Independent and dependent clauses. What's the difference? By Piper and Zoe. So, a clause is a group of words with a subject predicate set. Check out Mr. Claus going. Oh my god, it's Santa Claus, not Mr. Alright. They can also be a group of phrases, and the difference between them is that a phrase has no subject predicate set, but a clause does. Types of clauses. There are two different types of clauses, independent and dependent clauses, and knowing the difference is very important. They both complete a thought, but dependent clauses need more. Wait. Oh my god, wait, this is wrong. Wait. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Why is everything so difficult? Difficult. I really don't understand. Why can't I type? Jesus Chrysler. Alright, let's continue this since this is going on YouTube now. Alright. Do this again! Types of clauses. There are two different types of clauses, independent clauses and dependent clauses, and knowing the difference is important. Only independent clauses complete a thought. A dependent clause needs an independent clause to complete the thought and make the sentence correct. Independent clauses. An independent clause has a subject predicate set and completes a thought. Any sentence that is written correctly has at least one independent clause. Example, Santa was hungry. See how he slid for them cookies? Independent clause examples. Italicized words are the subject of the sentence and the underlined words are verbs. Santa Claus jumps. The new reindeer was nervous. Santa has a list. Santa will check his list. All the sentences have a subject predicate set and all the sentences complete a thought. Looky there! A dependent clause has a subject predicate set. Notice how I put Mrs. Claus on the dependent clause slide. But the subject predicate set does not complete a thought. These clauses commonly start with subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns. Example, if Santa is hungry. They, I just said they, if is a subordinating conjunction. A dependent clause on its own is a sentence fragment. Because it's there. Because it was delicious. Dependent clause examples. Again, italicized words are the subject of the sentence and the underlined words are verbs. If Santa did, when the reindeer was, that Mrs. Claus was, because the cookie is. They have a subject predicate set, but there isn't a complete thought. when you combine the two clauses, it can make it a lot harder to understand where the difference is. But they do need to follow the rules of, if there's two independent clauses, they either need to be separated by a comma and a coordinating conjunction, or they need to be separated by a semicolon. And if it's an independent and a dependent clause, you can either put the independent and then the dependent beside each other, or you can put dependent, put a comma, and then the independent sentence. Now, again, italicized words are the subject, underlined words are the verbs. Although the kid had been on Santa's naughty list, Santa brought him gifts. Both parts of the sentence have a subject-predicate set, but only one part of the sentence finishes a thought. Although the kid had been on Santa's naughty list isn't a complete thought. Santa brought him gifts is a complete thought. The restaurant baked Santa-themed cookies, while the bakery baked Mrs. Claus-themed cookies. Again, this sentence, two independent clauses. Because you have the bakery baked Mrs. Claus-themed cookies, while the, while would actually be separating them. That would be, comma, coordinating conjunction. Great. But it still has two separate predicate sets. Two complete thoughts. Some tricks. Some common words they start with are after, although, as, before, and when, and dependent sentences commonly start with relative pronouns. Little pop quiz. Is this an independent or a dependent clause? The reindeer hopped in the sleigh. What type of punctuation goes between two independent clauses? Does a dependent clause have a subject-predicate set? And is this an independent or a dependent clause? Snow fell. That's it! Hit the Millie Brook on him! Oh god.